Let's move on with the show now. Talk about the latest FIFA rankings. Guess who is back to #1 sports in the world? But before we talk about that one, let's see top 10 in Africa. The rankings, a lot of talking point whenever it comes out. Egypt, of course. I don't debate this one because I know the sort of football Egypt has been playing. The resurgence is lovely. Senegal, second best team in Africa. Cameroon, some people argue Cameroon, defending champions and all of that, but no, it doesn't work that out. FIFA. Burkina Faso, fourth. Super Eagles of Nigeria, now fifth in Africa.
Absolutely, and they moved from 7th from last month to 5th, and that's a big improvement, and I'm sure credit must be given to the Super Eagles of Nigeria because these rankings are very important because when you get to the World Cup, these rankings will matter a great deal because you get into the World Cup and you're not properly ranked in your continent. You might have to make do with some of the tough guys at the World Cup, the big guys at the World Cup. So it's great credit to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And thanks to the 1-1 draw against the Teranga Lions of Senegal. And I'm just wondering if that friendly game against Burkina Faso was not cancelled. Maybe, just maybe it would have been...
Maybe would have taken Burkina Faso's position.
Maybe would have taken Burkina Faso's position because it's very clear that they are 4th and we're 5th. If we had beaten them, it's very clear that maybe we would have been 4th.
A lot of people say the world rankings that matters. But Congo, they are 6th in Africa. Tunisia, 7th. Ghana is 8th. Cote d'Ivoire, 9th. And Morocco is 10th. That's for Africa. Let's go to the world rankings now. Let's see what's going on there. Till it comes up. That's what it is. Brazil, they are back as the best football playing nation. No surprise for me.
No question about that because Brazil have been playing the best of footballs in the qualifiers, champagne football, every kind of superlative you can give it because Coach Kike has really come into the Brazilian side and really made things work for them. And there's something different about this Brazilian side. Everyone associates fantastic, good, nice playing football with them, but these days there's a bit of substance to that Brazilian side. You see people like Paulinho in the middle of the park. He plays in China. But there's a bit of substance about the Brazilian side. They used to have a soft side to them, but Neymar is no more captain. There's a lot more greed. There's a lot more graft about that Brazilian side. And very deserving that they're #1 in the world.
Again, and then what they'll be saying to themselves, come on, we've been gone for too long. This is Brazil. Football is our tradition. We need to get back, and are back there. Argentina, as you saw on the chart, 2nd in the world. The Germans are 3rd. Talk about the top 10 world rankings. FIFA ranking, whenever it comes out, a lot of talking points. You guys have started talking on social media. I don't know. That's what it is from FIFA. That's what we're going to take. Let's get on with the show now. Bring it back home. We've been monitoring all that is going on in the Nigeria Women's Football League. We were so excited when it started. We love the fire. We love the zeal. We love the level of reforms that are going on in women's football. But after week 2, we're expecting that game between Sadatu and Nasser Adamawa Queens. That game was supposed to be played today after a bit of delay, but that game didn't. So surprisingly, the home team, talking about Sadatu Amazon, failed to honor the match after a grace of 1 hour. But particularly in Yobong, the NWFL, they're worried because there was no provision of security. And who plays a football match without good security in place?
It just doesn't happen, I must say. And it's a shame that some people who the league in Nigeria, the women's league in Nigeria, is taking steps forward, moving in the right direction, and just a few people trying to draw us, but it just doesn't sit well with me as far as I'm concerned, because in a football ground, security has to be uppermost. Security has to be number one, because fans can be volatile. Fans can be a real fickle. Fans can get very inconsistent with their emotions, because any refereeing decision that they don't quite fancy, they might just try to be volatile. So it's important that you have security in every match venue. And while Sadatu Mason did not provide it, I will never know, and it's quite sad.
That game was rescheduled to be played today at the College of Education, Minna, and it was called off due to inadequate security at the match level, and then the home side failed to turn up. And then rules are rules. So the NWFL Secretariat decided on they got to business that we must punish somebody. We'll just run through some of the resolutions that came after what happened, talking about the game that didn't take place. The letting clubs know that it shall be the responsibility of the home state football association and the home club to provide adequate and effective security before, during, and after any match. However, nothing in these rules shall prevent the home team from taking responsibility for ensuring that there is adequate security, crowd control, and restriction of unauthorized persons from areas during the game. So, let's just run now. What's the punishment for Sadatu? Any match that commences up to 30 minutes later than the scheduled kickoff may be deemed a no match, provided that the club responsible for the late kickoff shall pay a fine of 500,000 naira for when it has to be at the Premier League level and 300,000 naira for Pro League, in addition to expenses for any replay. So, that's it. In view of all this, the board, as in accordance with the rules and regulations, they've said 3 points to the away team, which is Adamawa Queens, and 3 goals to the away team. So that's it right there.